Hello everybody, this is Brad Dyke reaching out to you. This is my first facial appearance on my videos. I'm not into presenting who and what I look like. I'm more about the technology itself. But today I'm going to talk about something unrelated, technically, to IT. And I find it very interesting because I sat down and began doing some research and I formulated some thoughts that I thought would be really interesting. So this is for all those guys out there and gals who believe in UFOs and UAPs, which are unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is a very accurate description, and how Congress last month passed and have begun the process of recognizing this unknown variable that's in society, that's above our heads and flying around our installations and so on. And I thought to myself, okay, great, all right. So for the past 50, 60 years, we spent a lot of time just trying to debunk theories of conspiracies and trying to hide things. Now everything's out in the open, not what's happened in the past, but going forward about identifying that there are things that are flying in our planet that we don't know of. And the question is, how do you now address that? Well, IT industry actually might be able to help with that. And that's why I started thinking about this. You see, when you document information in a comparative database or what's called a relative database, and that's a loosely termed reference, by the way, you are able to accrue similarities. Now, I'm going to pause this video for just a second to make a reference. Okay, so the reason why I paused this was that I wanted to make sure to confirm one tiny detail, but I think it was worthwhile confirming, and that was to make sure that the terminology I'm using in the next few minutes is correct. Because it's not exactly in my specific field of expertise in the IT industry, because I construct and build those environments for professionals, data scientists, and so on to work with. So what I was referring to is the simple reality that if you look at an object over many, many, many years, people give descriptions of what those are. And because they give those examples, they accrued over time. So if we can finally get past the conspiracies and all of that and start bringing together all of the instances, all the encounters, everything into a central or even a regional set of databases, you would then be able to begin the process of what we call collation, the collation of the common factors. In other words, all the hoax and pranks and things like that, the one-offs, would very quickly be eliminated if you can put all of the data into a central database. If you can put us into a central database back in your systems like you see behind me, then when you say, okay, let's say we have 150,000 incidences of UFOs, UAPs, the key differentiator, and there are, by the way, water phenomena as well, not aerial, but submersive. When you start putting all of those in and you start tracking them as a group, a picture begins to evolve. The picture would evolve on all the fronts you ask the question. Now, if you're going to analyze ball lightning, for example, and there are 50,000 experiences of ball lightning, when you're done, you're actually going to get a confirmable footprint of what ball lightning is. And that's critical because by understanding the basics based on sheer numbers of witness testimonies, you can actually begin the process of formulating what, when, how, why it happens. So we can do that also when dealing with unidentifiable phenomena that are out there. Then may they be near the water, under the water, or above the water, in the air, and we can classify them. Everything from what is the most common shape of a UFO or a submersible version of a UFO? What are some common values of the interactions? What are the patterns of flight and how do they fly? And in what formats of flying do they do? And by the time that you get the database built out, or let's say a series of databases built out, and you start to query, then the commonalities begin to show themselves uniformly. That uniformal capacity will give you direction on your next steps. So using IT technology, using Oracle or some of the advanced database systems out there that can allow you to do relational databases can help get that off the ground. Now, the key thing here is, as far as I can determine, because I don't follow UFOs, I don't do any of that. I'm just an IT professional, and I'm seeing something new. And my thought is, and I say this out loud, maybe we can now treat the UFO phenomenon as nothing more than any other type of science investigation and start actually breaking it down instead of getting lost in the governments or the conspiracies or the men in black and all that stuff that people follow. Put your hat on, get your gloves on, start mining the data, get a real idea of who and what this is, because it is on our planet, and that's a legitimate concern. So, as again I say, I'm not a UFO enthusiast. I believe that the universe is too big for us to make assumptions, and that we can study it, or another term for study means the science of, to try to figure out and understand what's going on that we currently can't. And with that being said, that's my 2 cents, and I'll go back to being a tech guy. But I thought you guys would like to hear this, and maybe you'll get involved and try to figure out what's going on with this, because we don't know what's out there. But I hope you enjoyed this. Sorry about the change in topic. I'm usually strictly professional on the IT side, but this is new stuff. This is revolutionary kind of stuff we're seeing from the U.S. government, which is one of the big pro factors in yay or nay on this kind of stuff. And now, since that's gone, we can get down to being who we are and really step forward. But I hope you enjoyed this, and probably won't see my face again for a long time, but God bless, and hope you enjoy and have a good day.